Hello, hello, and welcome back to our Coldplay ranking video series, ranking Coldplay numbers 107 to 101. A couple of quick updates before we get into this video. I found through watching back on the video that I posted of like kind of introducing this series that um, although I can move my face around, on my computer, it doesn't change for the recording. So I thought I was like dead center, like a certain size. So that's why I made a comment about covering up Will Champion and Chris Martin's faces when the reality is I was in the top right corner, I think, I believe. If I'm wrong again, then like I'll just keep it up. It's great. Let's go. One thing I also learned on a positive is that I can play music on my phone here and that it will not show up on the mic. So I can play a little bit of the song for myself and kind of talk, not like through the whole song, but like kind of talk through my feelings, almost kind of live. So hopefully I mean, I won't do that for every song in terms of like some songs I can get my thoughts out pretty quick and we'll move forward. Other songs, um, it will be helpful to hear a little bit of the song. So let's go ahead and get into it with number 107, which will surprise nobody if you know me. It's In Another's Arms from Ghost Stories. This is one of the very few songs I just think is an actively bad Coldplay song. I'm a huge Coldplay fan, and so the vast majority of their songs, even if other people are like, it's not really a great song, it's kind of cheesy, it's kind of cliche, kind of whatever, I'm like, yeah, but it has this really great thing about it, or I really love this part, or really whatever. The only thing that I can say is a positive for this song is that Chris Martin is singing it. That's pretty much it. It's really cliche. It sounds like it just reminds me of like a breakup song I would have written at like 13 or 14 years old. Like not that I think I would be able to do a great job writing a song now. It just feels like a prepubescent, like first heartbreak type song and does not have a lot of like creativity or interest in it. It also has a couple of like things that just don't ever remind me of Coldplay, like electronic drums and stuff in the background, and this like weird like booming reverby like thing. I don't know what it is. Probably from a keyboard or something. About halfway through the song, there's some really cool guitar part. There is a cool guitar part. My problem with it is that it's faded in the mix too far back, I think, and then it does like get a little more prominent towards the end. And then there's that weird like choral woman's vocal. But the guitar solo is like 2.5 minutes in. I'm seeing it's pretty close to 2.5 minutes. It's okay. I like the tone on the guitar, which is pretty typical for Coldplay. But that's like really the only positives I have for this song. I think it's an actively bad song. So that's number 107. Number 106 is gonna be Echo from Everyday Life. I think this is the worst song on the album. It's not terrible. I just think it's kind of like not it's not interesting. I'll put it that way. It feels like a mediocre EP song. And it's on an album. And it's on a long album too, is the thing. Like I feel like they could have dropped a couple songs from this album, and my overall feelings on the album would probably shoot up a little bit. So I love some of the songs from Everyday Life. Well, as you'll see here in a little bit. Um, well, in a few weeks, I guess I should say. But this one is kind of like doesn't have a lot of movement in terms of like dramatics. Like it's like kind of stays at this certain level and it's kind of a low level, and Chris kind of just stays in that pocket, and it doesn't like really go anywhere. Like a lot of what I love about Coldplay is their ability to like increase and drop and increase dramatics. Like think about Fix You with them slowly building up and then dropping and coming back in. Like that's the kind of thing that they do really well a lot of times. And not that they have to do that every single song. Obviously, then it would kind of get stale. Um, but this song is just kind of like right here. And I would have liked for it to like kind of build to something at some point. The acoustic guitar arpeggio stuff is not as nice, but um it's again is like a 2.5 minute song roughly. Um, and it's just like I think it's like maybe one or two choruses and a couple verses. It just feels pretty simple. And so because of that, I have it here at 106. 105 is Bani Adam. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it basically means like son of Adam, which is kind of referring to humanity. So that's the idea of the album. And then the original language, I'm gonna double check. I think it's Persian. I'm gonna double check that though, because I don't want to just throw it out on YouTube and just be totally wrong. Um, it's Persian, yeah. And so they're taking a a poem. There's a context. It could be like that phrase could even mean just human beings, but literally it means children of Adam or son of Adam is like the literal translation. And the first part of the song I really like. The problem is if it was just the first part of the song, it probably wouldn't be on the list because as I said earlier, um, if these songs are a minute or less and don't have lyrics, then I'm not putting them on this list because it just feels like a transition. This one is th over 3 minutes, so it's like 30 seconds or something longer than Echo. Uh, and it does have some interesting things about it, but it's just pretty like plain and simple. And again, I like the first minute a lot. The rest of it I can kind of live without it. Um, and so because of that is really where I've got it. It feels like a transition. It feels like This is what it feels like. It feels like two different transition songs just kind of put together for some reason. And if they were in two different like positions in the album and they weren't one track, they probably wouldn't be on this list just because like they would be roughly a minute and not have lyrics. And maybe one of them would be over a minute, but yeah, well, one of them would have to be at least over a minute. So I think the second half would probably be the part that's over a minute. But um, it's just like kind of strange to me. And it doesn't feel like a song. It just feels like something like kind of just building and waiting for the next song. So it's kind of hard to like be super critical of it. Um, but again, the first like minute piano stuff, love that. The next song is going to be Jupiter from Moon Music. And again, my problem with this song is it's cliche. It feels really cliche, and cheesy. And I don't even like that's really it. It's not even like, am I like some people want to get into the politics of some of these songs. I'm not really worried about that either way. That's not playing into. There's some songs on here that people might think, oh, do you agree with the politics of this song or that song? I'm like, I'm not trying to get into that. I'm not trying to worry about that right now. I'm just listening to the music and the lyrics are important. Don't get me wrong, and I think their Coldplay's are really great with lyrics, but um, the political messaging, quote unquote, of any of these songs really aren't playing a big factor for me either way, for the positives or the negatives. Um, this one just is kind of cheesy. My favorite things about it are getting it's a classic Coldplay thing where a lot of the verses you have Chris singing in like a comfortable register, and then the chorus he's flipping it up into like a falsetto-y, and that always feels like Coldplay to me. And the acoustic guitar is really good in this song. And so like I don't think this is a bad song. Again, like 107, I think is far and away the worst song. The next two songs kind of feel like filler, and then this is like the first full song I have on here, and I don't think it's a bad song. Just like not exactly my kind of thing. And again, like I said about Echo, it kind of just stays in this little like comfortable pocket. It doesn't really build to much. I think until maybe the last like the bridge kind of builds a little bit, but it doesn't like go anywhere. It kind of like builds up to the next chorus, and it kind of like falls back down to the chorus feel. Um, so again, without spending like minutes on these songs, I that's all I'm gonna say about it for now. 103. 103 is a strange song for me. Army of One, from Head Full of Dreams. Not honestly like I could be persuaded to drop this to 102. I'm sorry, to 104, the previous song, with Jupiter. Um, Something about the electronic drums on some of these songs. I'm not even convinced that Army of One has electronic drums on the first part, but the second part, um, where it's going into man, I don't even know how to that like what's like what was the refrain? Because the first part is Army of One. The second part is like it's like two songs put in one. It's maybe like I reach for it or race for it. I don't know. Spotify is telling me that he's saying so I race for it, and I've always thought it was reach for it. But the more like hip hop feeling, like the last like 2.5 minutes of the song, um, that's where I'm talking about this electronic drum thing. Like neither one of these songs really feels super Coldplay to me. Neither one of the parts of this song, sorry. Jupiter feels a lot more Coldplay to me than this song does. So I can be convinced to put it to 104. Um, but the also the like him saying Army of One in the background is actually like it's just over and over. You'll see a couple songs on here that are in the lower things where there's just like being repetitive to a level that's kind of over the top for me, can get on my nerves a little bit. And so I think that like him the Army of One going over and over again, especially given that this is kind of two songs in one and it's over 6 minutes. It's like this is way too long. It should have just been two different songs. Both of them kind of, especially the second half, feels like it could be an EP. Where he's talking about, so I race for it or reach for it. I'm not even sure what the lyric is there because now Spotify's confusing me. I've always thought it was reach for it. Um, the more like hip hoppy part at the end, like the last 2.5 minutes, just doesn't really feel like Coldplay to me, either part of it. And so like I think like even on the fly, I'm probably gonna go like I'm gonna go ahead and say it here. This says 103 and 104. I'm gonna flip them. 103 is gonna be or 104 is gonna be Army of One. 103 is gonna be Jupiter. I'm not gonna go through and edit this video, but that's where we're gonna leave it. 102 is Kaleidoscope. And again, like one of those filler, I'm not using the word filler to be condescending or to be negative or like to be dismissive. But Coldplay likes to have transitionary or transitional, I guess would probably be a better word, better way to say that, transitional songs. And I enjoy this one. But there's like several other ones that are significantly better to me. And they're all most of them are like fine to me, but I don't love them. So with this one, I like it, but it's kind of one note, and I don't mean that literally. I mean like it has this little refrain on the piano with a little. It sounds like a um like some kind of a mallet hitting a xylophone maybe or something like that. Kind of like high pitched. Um, Notes as like a kind of a melody over top the piano, and that's kind of the whole thing. It's only a minute 50, so if it was much longer, it would probably be lower, honestly. But it's a short song, and it's just like a transitionary song, so like it's not really um, adding a lot to me to the album on its own. And so I'm gonna have it at 102. So the last song for this video is song 101, When I Need a Friend from Everyday Life. And I actually enjoy this song a good bit. It's only 2.5 minutes. Um, it's just so strange coming from Coldplay. If you haven't heard the song, go check it out. It's kind of like a gothic cathedral type, like chant type song, um, where it's very like drawn out vocals and pretty much just vocals for the whole song. And it's like not like a Gregorian chant, but like has those vibes of just a bunch of guys like harmonizing and singing and it's pretty in that way. Um, it's just kind of odd because it just like it almost feels like somebody was like, "Hey, we need this song for this movie. We need you to write us like a really um like like a big orchestral chant type thing." And here it is, and it doesn't really feel like a Coldplay song. Um, and so again, like you've heard some similar complaints from me from some of these songs, um, but this is like far and away my favorite one from this list. I don't think it's just so unique that I can't help but like it, and like enjoy listening to it, especially because it's only like 2 minutes long. If it was three or four, I might be like, okay, this is like something else. Um, and it's unique, I think, in a nice. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the poster just fell down, so that's good. Luckily, we're at the end of the video, so when I need a friend, good song overall, I think, just like a little too odd, a little too weird. Um, but yeah, good stuff. Okay, look forward to 91 to 100 next week. let me know before I get out of here. Let me know what you think about these songs in the comments. I want to hear what you think.